Okay, as you can tell, I'm wearing some ridiculous glasses, and my coat is still on. Just got back from Avatar. I didn't drive with these on. That's dangerous. Don't try that. Don't wear 3D glasses and drive home. This movie is undeniably, superbly visually, just amazing. And I'm pretty sure everyone who sees it is going to have the same idea. You can see this movie just for the visual effects. They are gorgeous. You can easily tell that this has been James Cameron's life since Titanic. Visually, this movie is amazing. However, it's really tough to wear 3D glasses for like 2 hours and 40 minutes. That being said, visuals amazing, creatures amazing. The Na'vi are like 10-foot tall blue people who all dress indigenously. The voice acting, very good job. Sam Worthington did a good job as the main lead. He was the hybrid from Terminator 4. Sigourney Weaver again, very good. When it comes to the way the people look, the women seem to be more spot on than the men. Of like the humans, the male humans they just don't seem to have that. There's not enough going on in the visual aspect. Sam Worthington's character went from looking very fake to kind of real when he had more facial hair to looking, more real towards the end when he had like blemishes. Now, the plot is very thin. Essentially what you have is, you have an evil corporation that has taken over a planet called Pandorum because it has the high amount of unobtainium. Yes, unobtainium. That's what they call it. And it sells for like $20 million a kilo. Kilo is, a little over 2 pounds, because a pound, depending on your density, is about 454 grams. Sorry, nerd scientist happens. So, and the largest deposit of it is, of course, where the Na'vi have, like, their sacred place. Well, that's being a problem when you have this huge corporation that wants to make a ton of money. A side note, they mentioned that's how they're solving the Earth's energy crisis. It's never mentioned in the movie, though. So, of course, what do? You have Marines, you do occasional military strikes, you try to pacify the indigenous people. And then someone decides, what if we just make, what if we put like a human inside one of them? And essentially it's kind of movie surrogates, where, you kind of go into what looks kind of like an MRI chamber, and there's a avatar in the program, there's a Na'vi specifically geared to your genetic material. So there's one me. There's no my genetic signature. If they make one for me, only I can use it. And, so there's the learning curve of you have to get the people to trust you, have them teach you your language, and of course, the person who has no background in any of this is the one who gets chosen as the dream walker, dream walker. And he goes through all the rites, all the rituals, and of course falls in love with one of them. That actually is the more compelling part of it, is the love story, and the, when he's back in the human form, because every time he goes to sleep as the Na'vi, he wakes up as the human, and vice versa. He's telling people, he's like, I enjoy that life more. There's more of an appreciation for the smaller things. Where in this life he's a Marine, and he's kind of like, all it is, do what you can to get him out of there so we can get it, or we'll just have to kill him all. And of course, diplomacy breaks down. When he tries to do the whole, no, they're coming to kill you. Of course, he's a traitor because he's become a traitor to them. Now, all those parts are actually pretty good. And then you get into the giant, regular, massive battle sequences, which again are done beautifully well. But everyone knows that regardless of how advanced you are from a military standpoint, you're going to lose the indigenous people. That's just the way it works. The Ewoks did it, the Gungans did it, and of course the Na'vi do it. But the Na'vi do it, with like 6-legged horses, things that look like 6-legged jaguars. Lots of things have additional limbs and additional wings. The giant flying creatures have 2 larger wings and then 2 smaller wings. And of course, you kind of figure out that The story beats for the battle are as laid out as you've seen in every other massive battle. For what I can say again, visually stunning. If you get a headache from 3D movies, you will have a blistering headache by the time this one is done. All in all, this movie is very dull. A lot of it is, wow, this is really an amazing, visual. Wow, this is a really amazing visual. There's a 6-armed lemur thing. Okay? There's a 6-legged jaguar thing. Okay? There's an elephant with the head of a hammerhead shark. Okay? Very visually impressive. Lots of that. The creatures are done beautifully. Visually perfect. It's worth seeing just for the visuals alone. Don't go in there expecting like an amazing story. This is thin on story. Like I said, you've got the corporate greed aspect. You have the indigenous love story, and then of course you have the military campaign. The love story part was what I found to actually be compelling. It's entirely cliche, but it was done with a different face. It's a little bit fresher, and that part's actually pretty good. So yeah, in a movie that had large epic fight sequences and a love story, the love story just seemed to actually pull you in. But then once we went to the massive war sequences, it really felt like I was watching almost like a giant video game. Sometimes it felt like what you were watching was, here's a video game portion, here's your cutscene. Video game portion, cutscene. So all in all, Avatar, it's worth it for the visuals. Don't go in there expecting a really phenomenal plot.